Hello and welcome back everybody to another video review, and in today's video we are going to be reviewing the Yokota number 2. This is the chili version of this shoe. There's definitely like a lot of different versions of it. I think there is a kangaroo one as well, but this is the Boulder, Colorado version of this kind of shoe. Why Colorado? Because there's boulders in Colorado, that's why this is the name of the actual shoe itself. And over here you can see that the actual color scheme of this is very similar to an actual rock, which is otherwise known as a boulder. And the chili is right there. You can see the red spice on it. So pretty impressive, very good looking shoe over here. And I actually a really big fan of those shoes. It is made in Vietnam. In case you want to get this out. Unfortunately no venting holes in this, so not so good about that. The shoe itself is not one of the highest quality shoes. In fact, it is kind of the low quality side of this shoe, and it is for a good reason. You're getting a good value. This is what you need for everyday walking. And if you don't care about the actual shoe, you want to get some fancy, interesting looking style. You want your feet to fit right in, and you want to feel vented in the summertime. This is exactly the shoe for you. It doesn't provide much insulation over here, and when you put your feet in here, there is not much traction on the floor either. But what it does give you, it gives you pretty lightweight, very lightweight kind of shoes made in Vietnam and not made in China. There's a lot of venting in here, so they're great for hiking. If you're gonna go on hiking for a long time, you want to have comfortable shoes that you can actually wear, and you can actually wear them for a very quite long time too. So it feels comfortable. They're very good looking. Well, if this is your style for hiking shoes, it definitely is good looking, and it gives you everything you need in a shoe, except you don't have to pay too much money for them. So this is why I like those shoes. This is exactly the same exact pair I'm wearing myself throughout this entire summer, because it is a beetle. It's kind of a shoe that it's just like a vehicle. Let's say, for example, you want to buy a car for not to show off, but to use it every single day and then come home to your fancy vehicle. This is pretty much what you're using the shoes actually for. So you want to beat those up, don't really care about them because they don't cost you much money, and you're getting everything you need in an actual shoe. So pretty much this is what you're paying for. So around 70 bucks, you're getting pretty good value for what you're paying for. There's nothing really wrong with those actual shoes, and there's nothing really to subtract points from either. For the actual price, it is everything you actually need in a shoe. The bending test, they do bend quite well. Those are not something that is solid as a rock. And at the same exact time, those are the shoes that you are probably want to get if you need something to wear every single day. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is showing you them up close, and of course putting them on my feet and doing the actual test and letting you know what is my overall feeling about those shoes, and if you should get them for yourself. And if you did like the Geek Tech Show, make sure you subscribe to it. There's going to be a sub link right down below, and of course link where you can get those on Amazon for the cheapest possible price. Make sure you add this to the cart right now so you can actually get the best possible price for those shoes. So the Merrell shoes, they come in both low top and high top version. And I do suggest, if you want to get those, get them in the low top version, because most likely you're going to be wearing them specifically for one purpose, to wear them during the summer. And because of that, the high top doesn't make that much sense for you to wear. If you're going to be going hiking and using those shoes for hikes, I do recommend for you to get the actual high tops instead. And when it comes to waterproofing, they are pretty good. I walked through tall grass and it was kind of wet, and I didn't get wet, but I wouldn't risk those in some very high top water, because as you can see, obviously there's holes over here and it is not actually waterproof. It is a little bit water resistant. The shoes themselves sport very nice looking look, and I like the vents. There's a lot of different vents over here. The air intake goes right in. The shoe feels like a glove when you put this in. And I like the actual new styling of those. This is actually the chili version, and the border and the chili combined. Over here we have a lot of protection for you in case of the elements, and in case you get hit over here by anything that you don't want, such as debris. On the bottoms, we see over here, it gives us a lot of traction, a lot of grip. Those are not slippery on most surfaces, and I do really suggest for you to get those. They do sport over here, this right here, which is an air cushion, and it gives you a lot of support when you do jump or you do any higher intense activity. After a while, those tracks will wear down, because I have the same exact type of shoes, and I know, and they are not gonna last you pretty long. Everyday Beatles, pretty good version, really nice looking. And now it's time to do the on-feet test. So we are back in the great outdoors and checking those shoes actually out. So you can see here how they look like, and they're pretty good looking, I would say. You can see it here, that the sides and everything does look pretty great. They also feel great as well. In fact, I have the same exact type of shoes as the previous season, and they're just very good. A few things about them. First of all, when you walk on them, they feel really good when you're walking, and they fit very easily on your feet like a glove too. Let's do a jumping test right now. And it has very good traction as you land on this. They don't make noise as you're walking. On the bottoms, you can see very nice and red. The color code on them looks good as well. The touch, they feel very good when you touch them, and it has a lot of protection on the top heel from bumping your feet. Moving this up and down, a lot of freedom of movement. And the great thing about Merrell's is just the way you feel in those shoes, and you feel as if you have no shoes on, pretty much. It just feels like naturally an extension of your feet. And I really like those. They're probably one of the better summer shoes you can get for yourself. They don't get too hot. They feel pretty good when you're walking on them. The platform is great as well. There's only one really big downside to them. The upside, it is cheap. If you ever get them on sale, you're talking about like $85 for those shoes, maybe even less, $75. The downside is that they wear out pretty fast. They probably won't last for more than 2 seasons. The material is on the cheap side. This right here is leather, but it is suede type of leather, which actually means that this is gonna wear itself out a lot faster. The air goes right through this. There's a lot of venting areas, but that's also gonna could get damaged, but it doesn't. My other shoes, it seems like just the suede material gets worn out, and it doesn't look as good as just real leather does. So suede is just backwards leather, and I'm not sure why they use suede. I like actual leather a bit better. What else I don't like about those specific shoes is that it doesn't have the Vibram insoles. This is Merrell insoles. This is why you're paying so much less money for those shoes. If this was Vibram insoles, you'd be expecting to pay an extra $20 to $30 more money, and the insoles would feel much more better than this. But as an everyday beetle, something that you can take along and go and walk to different places, this will actually do it. It is much cheaper and probably one of the better shoes that you can get for this price. I would say out of 10 stars, this would be a 9. Could it be better? Yeah, definitely. If they switch the insoles and put Vibrams in them, it would make this probably the best shoes that you can potentially make, and maybe use better material. But for the price, you can't actually go wrong. I recommend it for you to get and even try it out. So I wanted to show you that this is exactly the same exact shoes that I got for myself, and those have been for 2 different seasons. So this is year 2 of the same shoes, and you can see that they hold pretty well. The tracks are a little worn out. The biggest issue I have had with them is over here, if you can actually see or not. It's getting a little bit fluffy, specifically right there. It's just cosmetic, not a big deal, and the stitching seems to be opening up on this side, but the shoe all by itself still holds well. There is no actually external damage, holes, or any other issues, so this is good. Usually you have some issues by the end of the second year, and I've been wearing them almost every day for this summer and last summer, and they're doing very well. The only issues I have with them, you have to double tie them up, otherwise they get pretty loose pretty easily. So you can see right here how they look like, and definitely recommend for you to get the same or maybe better version of the same exact shoe, because right now those are no longer made, and you can get beautiful, nice looking, high quality version of those shoes in a wide variety of different colors and styles. So there it is, there you have it, and you should make up your mind, should you get this for yourself or not. So those are the same shoes, last year edition, and I'm going to be walking into something that's going to be full of water just to test this out, to show you how waterproof they are. They're not very waterproof, but they do keep the water from getting to you. You can see that it's getting pretty wet here, and there's more and more water as I walk into this swamp. See right here, water is just slipping right in on the sides, and I wouldn't risk anything more than this, because putting like this much water into this on the sides doesn't get me wet. But you see the holes over here, if it goes right in them, it actually might. You can see right here, oh, now I got in. So it's not really that waterproof, it's just waterproof to a point. So that's what it is, and I did get wet. So pretty much those are not really waterproof. They just keep most of the water out, but it is just within this line right here, and this part is totally not waterproof at all, and it got me wet right inside as I walked right into that swamp thing.